want to share with you guys something really cool that I came across. It's already been out there on the market for a while, but it's called continuous glucose monitoring. And there are devices that you wear on your arms that will continuously monitor your glucose. I decided to partner with a company called Aspect Health to find out about my own health and my journey of what's going on from moving to Florida from Minnesota, starting a new job. We moved here during a hurricane, and something was not going well with my body. I was starting to gain weight, continued to eat somewhat healthy, but I'll fully admit I was starting to eat foods that my body I knew was not benefiting it, kind of eating more pastries and scones. I was still eating healthy, low carb, and I guess you could say keto, but my body was off, and I was like, okay, I gotta rein it in because I was starting to develop some belly fat, and that's not fun, right? And we've all been there, comes and goes with belly fat. Here's what I discovered. So you get this glucose monitor, you put it on your arm, it monitors for about 2 weeks. You have an app that is on your phone, and you scan it every time you wake up, after you eat, after you work out, and it's data the app is collecting, and it gets sent to a health coach through Aspect Health. That's what I was like, this is a game changer, because sometimes as a doctor, you're actually your worst patient, if that makes sense. And I just needed guidance when it came to understanding my body a little bit more, because when it's your own body, you kind of get removed from it all. I learned a lot of things. I learned that if I don't get proper sleep, my blood sugar numbers go up the next day. I also learned that on the days that I needed to go and be very physical for my job, my blood sugar was elevated because of stress. So I had higher cortisol levels, thus elevating my blood sugar. I wasn't eating enough food, and I wasn't fueling my body properly. And that makes sense. Then my body's just staying with constant stress. And that was then why I was gaining more belly fat, because my body was in elevated stress mode. And okay, so here's the kicker. Foods I was eating that I thought was healthy were spiking my blood sugar. It's okay to eat foods that are have carbohydrates, but you don't want it to elevate so high that it keeps you in the higher glucose ranges, because then you develop what's called insulin resistance. And I was starting to develop some insulin resistance, you guys. It makes sense. You move across country, you come into an area that just a hurricane hits 3 days later, you're just starting your life over. And I was like, this is all adding up after I figured out what was going on with my insulin, okay? So I wanted to share with you my experience on my personal journey using the Aspect Health system. I really love it because 2 weeks I was gathering data. The coach was giving me ideas like, hey, well, why don't we try this combo of carbohydrates with protein? Why don't we try this? Maybe you need to eat more often. And I would have never thought, right? Because most of us think, well, if we eat less and exercise more, we'll lose weight. That is not the case. It's all about fueling your body to do your daily life and fuel your body to have good, stable nutrition. So the couple things that I learned, I gotta get good sleep. I gotta fuel my body before I go and do a very physical job. One cool thing is I started to pair protein powder with oats, and that did not spike my blood sugar on the days I had to go and be very physical. That was cool, because then I knew I could fuel my system and not spike my blood sugar, because that's the key. But then after about a month of this, my belly fat was shrinking, and I was like, oh, this makes sense, because I was developing insulin resistance because of the stress, and I wasn't eating according to what I needed to be eating, and I was getting to enjoy carbs. Go figure, right? But we had to be strategic about how to get the carbs into my system so that my blood sugar stayed stable. I feel better. I'm losing that body fat. I guess you could say regain hope that, hey, I got this. Just so excited to share with you the Aspect Health app.